In Babylon lives a man with the name Ezra. He is a priest and a scribe. He has devoted himself to study the words of God, the law of the Lord. He also wants to teach these decrees to the people of Israel. He got a letter of Artaxerxes, the king of Persia. Do you want to know what is in his letter? Listen. Greetings. Now I, King Artaxerxes, decree that any of the Israelites in my kingdom who want to go to Israel can go together with you. You are sent to inquire about Judah and Jerusalem with regard to the law of your God. Moreover, you are to take with you the silver and gold that I have freely given to the God of Israel, together with all the silver and gold that are given by others. With this money be sure to buy animals together with their grain offerings and drink offerings. Sacrifice them on the altar of the temple of your God in Jerusalem. You and your fellow Israelites may then do whatever seems best with the rest of the silver and gold, in accordance with the will of your God. Do you hear that? The king is pointing out to obey the will of God. This is also very important for us, that we always obey the will of God. The king says more. Anything else that is needed for the temple of God can be provided from the royal treasury. And people that are working in the temple don't need to pay tax. Ezra also has to appoint people who could rule in Jerusalem. And the king asks Ezra to teach all the people the law of God. Ezra is full of joy. He says, "Praise be to the Lord, who has put it into the king's heart to bring honor to the house of the Lord in Jerusalem, and who has extended his good favor to me." Then he gathers leaders from Israel to go up with him. Ezra assembles the people at the river that flows toward Ahava. There they camp for 3 days. When Ezra checks among the people and the priests, he doesn't find Levites there. So he summons some leaders to go to the leader of the Levites, so that they may send some Levites and temple servants. 38 Levites and 220 temple servants join. All are registered by name. Then, by the Ahava River, Ezra proclaims a fast so that the people may humble themselves before God and ask him for a safe journey. Ezra didn't want to ask the king for soldiers and horsemen to protect them from enemies on the road, because they had told the king, "The gracious hand of our God is on everyone who looks to him. But his great anger is against all who forsake him." That's why they are fasting now and pleading to God to answer their prayer. They trust the Lord for all what they need. Do you do that as well? Then Ezra sets apart 12 of the leading priests and weighs out to them the offering of silver and gold and the articles that the king and other people had donated for the house of God. Ezra says to them, "You as well as these articles are consecrated to the Lord. The silver and gold are a freewill offering to God. Guard them carefully until you weigh them out in the house of the Lord in Jerusalem before the leading priests and the Levites and the family heads of Israel." Then the people set out from the Ahava River to go to Jerusalem. God protects them. No enemy harms them. The whole trip takes 4 months. When they arrive in Jerusalem, they rest for 3 days. On the 4th day, in the house of God, they weigh out the silver and gold and the sacred articles. Everything is accounted for by number and weight and recorded. Afterwards, the people sacrifice a lot of offerings to God. They also deliver the king's orders to the leaders who were already in Israel. Will all be well from now on?